the San Felipe 250. It is the first of the Baja Score International Racing Series. We're going to be talking a little bit about this race and the whole series itself. The race is tomorrow, and we just want to give everyone an opportunity to learn about how the race works, because it's a sport that I love, and it's a sport that I believe that you will love. So, to start and give you a little bit of background, I've been racing the Baja Series for over 10 years. I've won some of the races, podiumed some of the races, and raced in multiple different classes. And we can talk a little bit about what all that means. But to say the least, I'm experienced. And I may not be the smartest guy in the room, but I definitely have learned from a mistake or two in the racing world. As far as what you need to know and how to explain it to somebody. So let's jump into it really quick. The first race of the year, it's called the San Felipe 250. It's the only one of the races that's not called a Baja. That does confuse people, but it is part of the series. So the San Felipe 250, the number really just means how many miles it is. It's based out of San Felipe, Mexico on the Baja Peninsula, and it is a 250-mile race, and it is considered the fastest race in the Baja Score International Racing Series. So there's a bunch of different classes that race these races. From top to bottom, there's dozens of classes. To break it down simply, you have the unlimited classes at the top, which are considered the trophy trucks. And you have the trophy truck four-wheel drive. Then you have the trophy truck two-wheel drive. And then you have the trophy truck legends, which every driver who races the truck has to be over 50 years old. So it gives an opportunity for the racers who are getting a little bit older to compete one with another. But don't be mistaken, they still do typically place top 10, sometimes top 5. So those guys, although they're a little older, they are definitely more experienced and still plenty fast. And then breaking it down, you have the spec trophy truck class. And the spec really means that you have to fit within a specification. So it's not quite unlimited. You have a crate motor along with a couple different finite rules, but realistically, they're all roughly about the same horsepower and the same motor, making it a very even playing field. And some say that's the most competitive class in the racing series, just because everyone's on the same playing field. And there's a couple different builders who build the trucks who are all just neck and neck with each other. For instance, this year's San Felipe 250, the top 3 qualified trucks were all built by different builders. So that's going to be fun to watch. The top truck builders that you're going to want to know about in the unlimited class is Mason Motorsports. They build all of the top four-wheel drive trucks. They typically top 5 every race because of how fast and how perfect their trucks are, right? Mason Motorsports makes a beautiful truck, so hats off to them. They've been dominating since they came out a couple years ago. The other trucks that are super competitive, the Geyser four-wheel drive truck just qualified 6th by the famous driver Robbie Gordon. So that's really impressive. And then there's one other four-wheel drive Geyser truck, and there's one four-wheel drive Brenthal truck. But for the most part, Mason Motorsports does dominate the four-wheel drive class. In the two-wheel drive class, you have a couple of the same builders. Geyser's one. Mason Motorsports does make a two-wheel drive, but it's not very common to get one. Tisco makes a two-wheel drive. There's a couple different builders out there for that. And then there's Brenthal makes a two-wheel drive as well, and Turbo Herps or 19 Industries makes a two-wheel drive. So there's more on top of that, but those are the ones that I just have off the top of my head. In the spec trophy truck class, the builders, the top 3 are, you have Tisco, then Brenthal, and then 19 Industries. The 19 Industries is the most popular truck. They build, their platform is really, really solid, and they just have a great output of trucks, and a lot of people are buying them. So watch out for the 19 guys. Below that, you typically have your Class 1 cars. It's a buggy class, the dying class, as far as I have been aware. Not very many people build the cars, and hardly anybody races the cars. Then below that, you have the UTVs. And the UTV class is also another one that's kind of a competitor for the most competitive class. It's really your Can-Ams, your Polarises, Honda even races. Every now and then we see a Cowie, which is always fun to see the other manufacturers come down here. But these guys really go head-to-head. Right now, Polaris, they have a factory team that's been absolutely dominating everybody. Nobody else really has factory support. And so, the factory team has come in and paid the most money and created the best program and has been sweeping the podium everywhere. But a lot of it, I believe, is R&D for, their manufacturing from day to day. So Polaris does make a wonderful car. So does Can-Am. And, racing in the Baja is probably the perfect place for R&D, right? What's going to break? What's going to work? Brock Hager is the guy who's really been leading the pack on that. He's on a absolute tear of wins in the off-road world, but we won't get too deep into that. Then below that, you have other trucks, VW Bugs, Jeep Speeds, other like kind of smaller trucks like Tacoma conversions. Those classes are nowhere near as popular, but definitely worth mentioning. And then obviously you have your bikes and your quads. The cool part about all these races is that everybody races the same course. The first trucks that go off the line, they typically have a minute gap in between them, and then everyone else behind, they do a 30-second gap. And so while you are racing against one another, at the end of the day, you're racing against the clock. So your time starts at the starting line and obviously ends at the finish line, and it's really who can do that the fastest. The benefit of qualifying first in the four-wheel drive trophy truck class is that you get to start out front and you never have to deal with any dust. So the biggest battle in the off-road racing world is dealing with the dust. There's nothing more dangerous than going 100 miles an hour and not being able to see 5 feet in front of you in the rocky desert of Baja, Mexico, right? The place is gnarly. So that's something to, kind of think about when you're watching the race. And the live stream that goes on tomorrow, it's Score International, is their website. You go and check out the live stream there. This is honestly a really, really cool sport. It's transforming into something that's way more watchable than in the past. And through the power of Starlink, we're able to transmit the live feed of inside the trucks and the drones that we have out there and the cameramen we have on the ground. So there's really great curated feed that can be, put up on the internet. And the scoreboard is typically there, and you can just go and see on the tracker where everybody's at and, what their corrected time is. Corrected time really means, what their time is after any needed correction. So, for instance, there's certain areas we have to go a certain speed, like speed zones. If you are on a highway section, for transferring, typically you're a 37 mile an hour or a 60 mile an hour speed zone. And if you speed, you obviously get penalized. There's pit penalizations, so there's pit rules. Those ones aren't too important. Most people just follow them just because they're pretty easy to follow. But if you guys have any questions about this racing series and any questions about Baja, feel free to comment those below. I want to answer any and all. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love to share my passion with people about it. To just finish off this, so like I said, it's a 4-race series. The San Felipe 250 is the first. Then you have the Baja 500. Then you have the Baja 400. And then in November, at the end of the year, you have the Baja 1000, which is the staple, right, or the golden boy race of the year. Some people wait their whole lives just to go and finish the Baja 1000 because it is a feat to conquer the desert, regardless if you win or not. We've been doing it for so long. Our goal is to win, and so we are, born and bred racers. Me and my dad have been doing it for a long time together, and we absolutely love it. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more content like this, along with any of the other random stuff that we're doing throughout the off seasons, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.